What is up, everyone? I am Joshua Banks, driver of the number 35 Matco Tool Supra.
Comes back. He's gonna send it to the inside. They're 3 wide for the race lead. They're gonna. Joshua Banks is gonna win it. Unbelievable.
And also co-owner of J Distributors for the sponsor of Saturday Night Racing. So I just want to thank every single one of you for tuning into tonight's race. I hope you will put on a good show for you guys. I hope that you will enjoy it. So if you do, make sure you drop a thumbs up to V-Speed and subscribe to them, because they, as y'all know, if you haven't already, they put on some great broadcasts. So I'll make this short and sweet. The main reason for sponsoring Saturday Night Racing League is because I've been with these guys for a long time. I've raced with a lot of them. I've been through some rough times, some good times, and arguments and everything like that. But still, grand scheme of things, been through a lot of these guys, and I really do like where this league's going. I want to support it. They've given a lot to the league already, and I think, you know, I'm capable to support back. So that's what we're doing, and we want to keep this league free, you know, for people to join, to have a good time, come in and race and just have fun, you know, and that's what we're all about. So that's the main reason, and that's all I really have to say about it. So I hope you do enjoy the race, enjoy the season coming up. We are hopefully going to put on a great season for you guys. Also, make sure to check out my YouTube channel, Banksy the iRacer. Link will be in the description. Check out, and you can see my point of view, see what's happening on my end. If you want to watch it, it's completely fine. If not, no big deal. So come on over, hang out after the broadcast of this race, and hopefully we'll see you over there. If not, enjoy it, and I'll see you guys on track.
Lap traffic out of the way. It's between these two. They're even for the white flag lap.
This race still very undecided.
Bradley had the lift. Big run for McWard. This is going to be his chance.
They're running out of time, and they know it. Horsepower at their feet.
That was a huge run for Bradley. He got back the advantage, but here comes a big dive. McWhorter might just try to run him out of room here. Oh, they put him in the wall. They're going to crash. They both crash. Here comes Ray Massey. Ray Massey's going to win it.
Welcome to the World Center of Racing here tonight from Daytona International Speedway for the opening race of the Saturday Night Racing League Challenger Series, live tonight on V-Speed. Excited to bring you the action here from this great racetrack. My name is Adam Baker. I'm joined up here in the booth with a name that might be familiar to some of you viewers out there, Jeff Wright, the admin here at Saturday Night Racing League. And glad to have him up here. Jeff, looking forward to kicking things off at Daytona. Should be a lot of fun action with a lot of great drivers on track tonight. How are you feeling about getting things going here from the World Center of Racing?
Oh, I couldn't be more excited, Adam. So Daytona, such an iconic racetrack, right? And to debut our Challenger Series here on V-Speed, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be some familiar names out there that you've seen from the Cup Series, but also a lot of new names. So really looking forward to get this race started. Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, they are currently in a bit of a warm-up session, getting a few more laps in. They've completed the qualifying. We do want to give a big shout-out to all the sponsors of this series, including J Distributors, 29 Graphics, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and Clark Print Shop. You can learn more about them in the video description as well as during some of our commercial breaks, but make sure to go support them and support the league by doing so. We do ask if you enjoy the broadcast tonight to make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and share the awesome racing action with your friends and family. Make sure that they tune on in if you enjoy and looking forward to a good night of racing from Daytona. Let's go to the track right now and see the drivers currently taking some laps. Let's go to our race analysis just to see the information about the opening event tonight at Daytona. 60 laps here. That's 150 miles. We've got 3 tire sets available. Not going to be too much of an issue for most of these drivers, but if you have enough accidents, you might wear the tires out. And we got 2 green, white checkered attempts. Hopefully don't have to use those, and we get some nice long runs here. But 80% fuel loads. I don't know if fuel strategy will be a concern. We can get to that, I guess, as the race begins. But this is the opening race of the series. Just 10 races, 1 drop week in the championship. So it's about consistency during those 10 races and trying to get the best finish each and every week. And it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers progress through the championship, Jeff. Any thoughts on, maybe favorites coming into this one, or names that we might want to keep an eye on here at Daytona that have a good shot at winning tonight?
Well, Adam, anytime you come to Daytona, you got to look at these Neon Auto guys, and we're actually viewing some of them right here on screen. We got Noah Mahalski in there, but those guys tend to be really good. I was looking at some average finishes just from the Cup Series side of things. Caleb Weekly tends to find the top 10 a lot here on the plate races, or at least he did in the Cup Series. So it'll be interesting to see, if he can carry that over here into the Challenger Series. But with this being a truck, Adam, this drives a lot different. You and I both know the truck it's a little bit edgy in the pack. So, you're going to have good pushes, and you're going to have some help. You're going to have some teammates. And Neon Auto, they got quite a few guys in that channel that I'm looking down there right now.
Yeah, it's always good to have friends and try and stay away from your foes here at Daytona. You want to be with people who are going to push you to the front, and that you can push to the front. So yeah, definitely going to be interesting to see these guys team up and who they partner with throughout the race tonight. I'm just looking at lap times and the speeds that we're seeing in this warm-up session, hitting over 190 miles an hour in these trucks. So really good setup. These cars are they're speeding along here at Daytona. Not quite as quick as they would be in the Xfinity cars, but these are not as stable like you mentioned. So yeah, definitely gonna be a lot of fun to see these guys battle it out and see if they can keep it straight here at Daytona and keep it on all 4 tires, as they say.
Yeah, and I think the weather, Adam's going to help that as well. It's obviously cool. Sun's starting to go down. There's going to be a lot of grip in the racetrack. So, that might give these guys some false sense of security to be able to push really hard. I'm hoping, to see these guys take it easy, kind of, at least early on. But, you got to be up front here to have a chance at this thing. So that would be my goal as a driver. I'm trying to qualify up front. I'm trying to stay up front, because although you can go, towards the back and hang out a little bit, try to avoid some wrecks. If you're not towards the front there with about 10 to go, you're not going to have a shot to win. So, and this is a short race, only 60 laps. This is going to happen really fast. Yeah,
it is not a long time here at Daytona. The race later tonight, are they running 100 laps, or is that a full length opener tonight that's following?
Yeah, that's going to be 100 laps for the SNR Cup Series presented by J Distributors. So I'll be in that one as well. I'll have to run down here from the booth and go get in the race car. So that'll be exciting. But I couldn't be more excited to be up here in the booth with you, Adam. I know Bradley's probably going to be here, most of the season, but being able to get to work with you at least 1 week for sure, that's going to be an absolute blast.
Yeah, definitely a pleasure to have you up here, and we've seen you have all the success on the racetrack, and yeah, definitely going to be a great addition to the booth. You know your stuff, that's for sure. So yeah, we're going to get things going, and hopefully you have a great run after the show tonight in the J Distributors Cup Series. But yeah, let's take a look here at our starting grid for the opening race of the Challenger Series. Caleb Weekly gets the pole tonight, and Brian Chambliss going to be joining him on the front row. Rolling off from third tonight, it'll be Brian Hennings. Starting in the 4th position, it'll be Justin Ritchie in the number 55 machine. Noah Halski going to start from the 5th spot. Johnny Rapp starting in 6th tonight. Starting in 7th, it's Bobby Patricia. And then rolling off from 8th, it's Logan Threlkeld, V-Speed's very own. Starting in 9th, it's Ben Laughter. Starting in 10th, it's Teresa Spiker. Rolling off 11th, it's Matthew Radford. Starting in 12th, Brandon Wallace. 13th is Michael Muncy. Timothy Peters going to be starting from the 14th position. I don't believe that's the same Timothy Peters that actually ran in the trucks, but
I don't think so.
But a familiar name for those of you that have watched vintage Craftsman truck racing. action. Jeremy Reed going to start from 15th tonight. Joe Spinelli starting in the 16th spot. Kyle Peacock starting in 17th. Dakota Floyd going to roll off from the 18th position. Matt Dominique going to start from 19th. Rob Denton going to roll off from 20th. 21st is Michael Jones. 22nd, Ethan Collier. 23rd, Derek Forrest. 24th, Harold Spangenberg. 25th, Mark McFadden. 26th, Max Cost. Starting 27th, it's Jordan Trask. 28th is Philip Brewer. Starting in the 29th position, it's going to be Jeff Allen. Rounding out the top 30 is going to be Sidarius Purse. 31st, Chris Rude. 32nd, Matt Shanoski. 34th, Austin Belkey. 35th, Benjamin Richards. And I believe that's going to round out the field tonight. 35 drivers in the opening race. That is going to be fun to watch.
Good size field.
And it's a good thing we've got a big racetrack. They've got plenty of room to run. And here we go, kicking things off for the Challenger Series for Saturday Night Racing League. Green flags in the air. We're off and away.
You can already see that first line already getting a pretty good push at the start. Caleb Weekly going to lead the way here. And, you know, Adam, I can't say I'm too surprised to see Caleb Weekly qualify on the pole. He tends to do that a lot. We thought the one-lap qualifying tonight might, you know, make it so that he didn't get the pole, but he still did. So awesome job by Caleb getting that pole.
Yeah, really, really strong out there in qualifying, and he's leading this bottom line. Currently has about a half truck length advantage, but that can change very quickly here depending on who you're partnering with. You see the 55 machine of Justin Ritchie trying to push. I believe that's Brian Chambliss up there on the top side leading that group. Let's see who powers around here and gets to the line first on lap 1. Chambliss with the advantage. He's going to lead lap number 1. Weekly starting to fade a tiny bit there on the bottom, but yeah, car's getting a little bit disorganized further back in the pack. You can see we've got kind of a second group already starting to split back here. Trying to see where that is starting. I think that's in the high 20 positions. Yeah, Mark McFadden back there, the 84 of Harold Spangenberg up there on the top side. Big gap from him up to further in the pack.
And you're going to see a little bit of a split strategy here tonight. You're going to have your guys that are going to want to be up front, want to lead laps. But then you're also going to have some guys that, you know, it's early. They just want to, you know, make sure they don't get caught up in an early wreck or anything like that. So the only thing that's dangerous about that is that you could potentially lose the draft. And so, Adam, as a driver, I usually like to play the strategy. I like to try to be up front and stay up front. But you never know. These races can get really, really chaotic, and sometimes that is the better strategy.
Yeah, you know, I've been in a lot of these races in the past. I don't know if I've ever won a league race at a super speedway. Even I'll be up there on the last lap at the front of the pack, and it just never works out. But it's dangerous no matter where you're at here. You're so close to everyone else. You see cars dropping back. One car up there on the top side. Trying to see who that is. Maybe Matt Dominique. No, even further back. Brandon Wallace gonna jump out of line, and he falls all the way back to 24th now, trying to settle back in the Reaper Racing machine. So he's maybe going to be a little bit more conservative here on the opening moments. Now we're 3 wide in about the 5th row deep. Still getting used to some of the names and paint schemes. That's Matthew Radford. He falls back now to about 13th, getting shoved out of line. But so far so good here on the first 3 laps. And
yeah, and talking about Matthew Radford real quick, last week in the Cup Series Clash, you know, he was a guy that was up front a lot, making some big moves. So not surprised at all to see him here towards the front. I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with here as we get down to the end of these things. But I tell you what, Brian Chambliss, you know, longtime admin here of Saturday Night Racing League, looking pretty good up there, up front in that truck, being pushed by Caleb Weekly. And, you know, it'd be awesome to see Brian get a win here. Obviously, he's been part-time schedule a lot in the Cup Series, so looking forward to seeing a lot of Brian Chambliss tonight here.
Yeah, and he leads Caleb Weekly. 3rd place car there was Brian Hennings. He now jumps to the top side and abandons those 2. He's going to try and get to the point. And Hennings going to lead for the moment into turn number 1. Side by side all the way back through about 20th, 21st place. And beyond there, there's a little bit more broken up. Like you said, some drivers being a little bit more conservative. You can see kind of this second group, these bottom 4 in the standings are, I don't know if they're losing the draft on purpose, but they've lost it just a little bit and trying to avoid that early accident that often happens here at Daytona. We see cars, again, 3 wide further up in the pack.
Yeah, and as you know, when you're back there, Adam, and you see these guys to start to go three wide early on, you're on your toes. At any moment, somebody could make a bad move and potentially cause a big pileup that could take out 10, 15 cars. And so you can't fault these guys for wanting to run around back there. See guys like Chris Rude, I believe he's making his first start here in Saturday Night Racing League. He's joined us a lot in the short track series and had some good runs. So good to see him here in the Challenger Series. Looks like we got Bobby Patrica just right ahead here of Ben Laughter. Good looking green truck right there. And he's got his Twitch handle on there as well. So any of those viewers out there wanting to see a driver view, go ahead and jump on Bobby's stream. We got it right there in the frame for you. The Bearded
Gentleman 28. Yeah, I've seen that name around in some of these streams before. And he's right now on the bottom of three wide, the 52 up top. That's Johnny Rapp. And the car behind him, trying to see the number on there, that is the 18 or 19, I believe, of Michael Muncy, as he gives a big shove to the 52 down into turn one. And you can see they're trying to go all the way up to the outside wall and almost putting in that third groove, but not enough cars up there to make anything happen at the moment. Now the 19 goes to the middle, and it's three wide, 64 up the track just a touch, but they're going to survive that down into turn number 3. And Justin Ritchie, meanwhile, gets the nose out in front here. And the 83 machine of Kyle Peacock giving a shove in the, I believe that's the HendrickCars.com Chevy Silverado.
Yeah, Kyle Peacock, I've gotten to work with him a lot on the super speedways, Adam, and he's a really good plate driver. So not surprised to see him up front here. Gave Justin Ritchie an awesome push to get him the lead there. And one thing about Kyle, he's going to stay aggressive throughout this entire race. I know he's not the type of guy that wants to go run towards the back, and wait for something to, maybe fall in his lap. He's going to go get it. And he's a really good pusher. I've got to work with him, like I mentioned. And every time you have Kyle Peacock in the rearview mirror pushing you, you're going to the front, that's for sure.
Right now he's got Logan Threlkeld in the rearview mirror as he goes to the lead. And it is interesting to see, consistently some of these drivers go to the front at these plate tracks. There are guys that just, this is their forte, or they're really good at navigating the drafts and finding where to run. As we've got a car in the wall through the tri-oval, not sure who that was. That was deeper in the field. I believe the 84 possibly of Spangenberg, I think, caught the outside wall, or it was the 34 of Sedarius Purse. And not too sure. We'll have to go back and see if we can get some looks at that one, but it was one of these few cars getting a tap on, I think it was the left rear bumper, and they overcorrected into the outside wall. But everybody's still moving the right direction, and the whole pack all grouped together, first through 35th, all in line. The 99 of Brandon Wallace bringing up the rear for the moment as they battle for the lead. Peacock and Ritchie fighting for it, and now third line up at the top, that is the 19 of Michael Muncy, trying to make things happen all on his own.
Yeah, it looks like he doesn't have quite the help he needs to make that move happen. Maybe trying to side draft the car there in the middle lane, but you're going to need some help to get that third lane working. And looks like these guys are starting to get a little bit more comfortable, though. You're seeing some more guys go up and use that third lane. It'll be interesting to see, if they can get that formed and get to the front. And then is the leader going to try to control the lanes, because you'll see that a lot. Looks like we got Logan peeking out to the outside there, and looks like, he might be going backwards here, Adam. He's going to have to get some help here from the 19 here if he's going to want to stay up front.
Yeah, Muncy going to give him a shove here through 3 and 4 and keep him up to speed. But it looked like either jumping out of line because maybe the truck was starting to overheat. That is a concern at this track. You can get really, really close to the car in front of you, and ultimately just not get enough airflow to the radiator, causing these trucks to overheat. But I don't know if that was the case or if he just got shoved out of line by Timothy Peters in the 46 machine. Currently running second there in the middle groove. But Logan still hanging tough on the top side. Hasn't lost too much ground. There goes the 55 of Justin Ritchie down below the apron. That may be a decision on purpose. Maybe it was an accident, but it looks like he's going to have a tough time getting back in line here before the corner.
Yeah, not quite sure. And going on the apron here, that might be trouble. Everybody's going to get by him safely, but just carrying a lot of speed, trying to merge back up onto those high banks here at Daytona, that is really dangerous. So thankfully, we avoid a big wreck, but man, Justin's going to lose all that track position.
I think he's lost the draft here too.
Yeah, and then losing the draft, and it's only going to be a matter of time for him to start going laps down here. So really unfortunate for Justin. He was looking really good up front there and was working with some guys
Let's
But
see what
yeah,
happened here, if it was just a bad shove. But looking at Justin Ritchie in the 55
yeah.
machine, taking a look.
I don't know
No,
if he.
just
No, it looks like he's just pulling off. So I didn't see anything. I thought maybe Brian Hennings maybe got him a little bit squirrely with the push, but no, he just decided he wants to go to the back. Maybe he's not liking what he's seeing. These guys starting to be a little bit more aggressive up front, and he'd rather have a truck that's fully intact rather than risk getting taken out early.
the leader's running 47.5-second laps. He ran a 51.8 on the last lap. That'll probably be even worse this time around as the leaders go faster. It's still nose to nose. Timothy Peters and Kyle Peacock fighting for it. And you see another car getting pushed down below the line. That's Bobby Patrica there, and able to get back in with enough space. So lucky that he didn't suffer the same fate as the 55. But you can see guys starting to be a little bit more aggressive with some of their moves. And maybe the handling's starting to go away on a couple of these trucks here, even just 13 laps in.
Yeah, tires, they don't wear a lot here at Daytona, but, they do wear enough to, change the handling a little bit of the truck. As those tires wear, it's a little bit harder to be able to handle and take a push. So that might be what we're seeing here tonight. Look, everybody was pretty orderly to begin the race, but, maybe it's just these guys getting more comfortable. Now they're starting to push a little bit more aggressive here, as Kyle Peacock looks like he's going to try to go back out to the outside here. He wants to grab that lead back here from Timothy Peters.
Yeah, not comfortable running back there in about third place. And how about Logan Threlkeld, though, in the 12, the Zin machine? Also a broadcaster here on V-Speed, having a good opening bit of this race. Started 8th, running in the top 5 here for the last handful of laps. Still early on, but so far so good for the 12. Ben Laughter up to his outside. Also moving forward up 4 positions. Taking a look at the biggest mover of the race, that is Kyle Peacock, up 16 spots in this one. So from 17th to the lead as they bang doors across the start-finish line, the 83 and the 46.
Yeah, Kyle Peacock's going to get that lap led, and like you said, biggest mover of the race so far, and doesn't surprise me one bit. I know Kyle's determined. He wants to get to the front. He wants to stay here, and he's going to do what it takes here to get a win. Kyle Peacock was up there quite a bit on those V-Speed odds for good reason. Really good plate racer, and yeah, definitely I'm surprised he might not be the favorite. I think that was actually Philip Brewer, which I don't know. Have we seen Philip Brewer tonight? Did he make the field? I haven't quite seen that 44 truck.
He's all the way back here in 23rd.
Okay.
Started 28th as he cuts down right in front of the 24. That's going to check up the inside lane. But yeah, also in the Zin machine. We got a couple of those in the field tonight. But Philip up a few spots, maybe taking it easy here through the first quarter of the race as we've got cars spinning. Huge pile up. Oh no!
A lot of cars involved.
That's going to bring out the first yellow. Wow.
Michael Jones is in it.
That's half the field almost.
Yeah, that's a big incident. That's going to take out a lot of trucks. Caleb Weekly looks like he's over there parked on the side of the banking there. Don't know how much damage he's going to have.
Let's take a look at what happened. I think pretty much everybody was involved in this. Oh, wow. Car upside down. I'm not sure who that was. Was that Timothy Peters went for the ride there through the catch fence? Let's see if we can go back. Yeah, wow. You don't see that a lot here. Occasionally cars will flip at Daytona, but...
Yeah, that hit reminds me a little bit of Austin Dillon's hit from, 10 years ago or so when he got up in the catch fence, but definitely a violent hit. But, man, that's going to collect so many trucks. I don't know how many this is going to eliminate, but, more than half the field is going to have some sort of damage in this thing. So that's a really tough break.
Let's go on board here. Justin Ritchie was not anywhere close to it, but we're on board here with this is Julio Villalobos, who was able to mostly get through. He gets turned around a touch here and then maybe backs it into the outside wall. No, actually looks pretty good in the 35. But
yeah, I don't know how much damage he got there. It looked like he was going to get through there unscathed, but I think he may have gotten a little bit. He got turned around somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he just got tagged in the rear.
32.
Around, but
yeah, you can see a lot of cars.
Other than that, yeah, Julio might be okay to go here. So it's a good-looking paint scheme there for Julio. Obviously, him being 29 Graphics sponsoring our league, really appreciative of him. Makes some awesome paint schemes. I'm excited to debut a new paint scheme that I'll be running later tonight in the Cup Series that Julio had made. So If you're ever looking for a paint, hit up Julio Villalobos. Really talented and makes some awesome paint schemes.
One of the sponsors here, 29 Graphics, as drivers are still catching up to the tail end of the field, but they're going to bring it down pit road and get damage repaired as well. Let's change some tires. Doesn't look like anybody going to stay out. It's probably a fuel mileage call as well, right? We're 17 laps in. You might be able to squeak it out to the end from here. It's going to be pretty close, I think, with these trucks, but pretty much everybody pulling it down at pit road. And the first yellow of the night, a big one here at Daytona. Hopefully we don't see too many of those, right? You really only want maybe one big one if you're a driver in this field, and if you can get through that one, right? That's
right. All the guys, though, that weren't in that, they just see, their race got, a whole lot better, a lot more winnable now. You just took out half the competitions. So, like I said, I don't know how many drivers are going to be done for the night. I think there's going to be a lot of guys just with a little bit of damage, and that's going to hurt you arrow-wise. And, that might make it tough to hang on to the draft if you're hurt, have some arrow damage. But looking like a lot of guys just sitting here fixing damage. Looks like we got Max Cost down there fixing damage. Definitely the leaders here, I think you definitely have to fill it up with fuel. Still, I don't think you're going to make it to the end here. And I would imagine these guys would have put on tires. You do got 3 sets of tires tonight, so I probably would have put a tire set on. But, if there's some guys that are trying to, jump some people on track position, they may have just filled it up and went away.
Looks like Matt Shinosky didn't even stop in the box, so I'm not sure if that was an error there, maybe trying to lead a lap. He's got a little rear end damage from that incident. Jordan Trass also up here at the front did not stop in the box. They just rolled right through pit road. Brian Hennings looks like maybe a 2-tire pit stop for the driver of the 74, or maybe just fuel. It was only 8.2 seconds in the box. Logan Threlkeld, it looks like he took 14.8 seconds there. So yeah, kind of mixed strategies throughout the field. I see 2 tires, I see 4 tires, maybe 2 tires and loaded up with fuel. So yeah,
and looks like these guys that did miss their box, they're going to go ahead and come back down, and you may as well put 4 tires on it here, fill it up. Brian, he elected, like you said, that 2-tire strategy. He wants the track position. Brian Hennings, a really good plate racer. Sometimes, meeting up with him in official, he's a guy that you can work with, and you're going to go places too. I think right now in the best spot, though, Logan Threlkeld, I think he took 4 tires, so he's going to have the handling advantage here on Brian. I don't know how much these tires are really wearing, but this early on, I would like to have 4 tires, and that looks like that's what Logan selected to do.
Yeah, it's nice to have the security as you're just getting the race kind of established. We're only a third of the way through, but also I should say we're already a third of the way through. Just a 60-lap event here. If things go green, it can just click on by, but if we get a few more yellows, this could be a little bit of a long night for some of these guys. But yeah,
and I think we're definitely going to need at least one more pit stop under green here. If we were to go green all the way. So they're definitely going to be in their boxes. It'll, green flag pit stops is where you can make up the most ground or you can lose the most ground. So hopefully, these guys had practiced, their pit entries. You want to be aggressive getting in, but you don't want to overstep it and get a penalty, because then, your night's pretty much over there if you don't catch a caution. But I don't know if Logan and Phillip are teammates here, but in the identical Zin trucks here, looking pretty good up there. We'll see if they're going to want to work together.
Yeah, making our job a little bit more difficult when you got 2 of the exact same trucks out there. But yeah, you mentioned pit stops and getting into pit lane, having a good stop. It is pretty tough here. If you're coming in under green, the tires get very heated up while you're running out here at 190 miles an hour, consistently. It can be really tough to stop in the box. We see a lot of drivers overshoot their box by, feet. Sometimes they even go through a couple extra pit boxes here, just not being prepared for what it takes to get slowed down and get to your crew. But yeah, we'll have to see how these guys do if they do end up getting to a green flag cycle. Pace car makes the left-hand turn onto pit road. About to get things back going from Daytona. The field in the hands of Brian Hennings. Green flag is in the air, and good jump for the 74 machine. He's going to pull out by a car length over the 56 of Benjamin Richards there.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't want to get too far out front. Otherwise, the guys behind you on the start here can get a big draft here and have a big run at you. And it looks like that's what Logan has right now. He's going to go right up to the back bumper here of Brian Hennings. And looks like the top lane is going to be the line that's going to be forming. We'll see if this line prevails here, but Logan looks like he's pushing really hard here, and he's got help from Philip Brewer behind.
Yeah, interesting for him to jump up like that, and probably a little pre-restart communication to get organized there. But top four all nose to tail on the top side, and now the 56
Here
gonna,
goes the Zen trucks.
yeah, they're gonna move to the inside. That's gonna shuffle Brian Hennings back. He'll lead the top side still, but the two Zen machines, Logan Threlkeld about to lead his first lap of the night. And yeah, big push there from Philip Brewer. They get out an extra car length over Brian Hennings and Benjamin Richards, who are fighting for the third spot. And then you see Villalobos, we just mentioned him, got it turned around there in that wreck, but he's up here battling inside the top five.
Yeah, good to see Julio up there. Like I said, awesome paint scheme. Got the Cookie Monster themed Chips Ahoy. So yeah, he just got turned around on that caution is all. I don't, looking at the truck, I'm not seeing any damage. So I think he should be good to go aero-wise. And I know Julio, he would really like to get a win here tonight at Daytona. So he's been such a big supporter of our league and our series. So, I can't help but, be rooting for Julio up here. So go get it done, Julio.
Yeah, doing a good job so far up through the field quite a ways, as now it looks like the top side charging back alongside the two Zin machines, the 12 and the 44 down low. And it's going to be the 74 and the 9 up top, trying to fight back in the 34 of Sidarius Purse, who has also collected, many of these drivers collected in that initial incident, but like you said, just minimal damage on many of them. Still looking pretty good aerodynamically, and no steering or suspension damage on most of these as well. It will be interesting to see the trucks that do have a little bit of damage, if they can hang on. You can see a bit of a second group back here. These guys may have a touch more. Caleb Weekly in this one, he's got quite a bit of right side damage. That's your pole sitter. Didn't actually lead a lap yet tonight, so I guess not exactly how he wanted this race to start here, just 23 laps in, but we'll see if he gets a chance to fix some of that damage up and get back up there. He's following Rob Denton, who's got quite a bit of left side damage.
Yeah, two Neon Auto teammates there, and Rob Denton and Caleb Weekly. So they're probably doing all they can right now, just trying to hold on to this draft. If they got any sort of damage, that can be so hard to do. Looks like Caleb's giving him a really nice push, though, here down the back straightaway here, and I think they're going to be able to get that draft. The problem is, Adam, with little bits of damage, you can be fine, inside the draft and riding behind people. But, if you do have, enough damage and you pull out a line and you're the lead truck, you're going to go straight backwards. So I'm curious to see how many of these guys, have that sort of damage where maybe they can hang on to the draft here, but as soon as they try to lead a line, I want to see if they're going to be able to keep the speed.
Yeah, if they get more than about 2 seconds behind, I think that's pretty much it, right? If it's too much damage. If they're still doing okay and they've got help behind them, they might be able to catch back up. The lead pack often does check up. The leaders are kind of at the mercy of those guys pushing them forward, and sometimes things get a little bit out of sync, and this lead pack can slow up, and even cars with damage, being slower could catch up. You see a car drop below the apron for a moment, and that was, not sure who that was, maybe the 25, that's who it was. Matt Dominique up here just outside the top 10. And lots of comers and goers so far in this one. Philip Brewer up 25 positions, and Benjamin Richards, he is up 30 spots in this race.
Yeah, we hadn't really talked a whole lot about Benjamin Richards, but yeah, he is looking like he's the biggest mover of the race so far, and looks like he's just being patient, kind of minding his own time, probably content to hang on to third right now, right here behind the two Zen trucks and Logan Threlkeld and Philip Brewer. So looks like he's in a pretty good spot and probably just waiting for the right time to maybe make a move and try to go grab that lead.
Yeah, still too early to do anything too aggressive, but some of these guys like to test the waters a little bit. You'll see them go up there, go 3 wide, just for a little bit of excitement at times through these races. But you can't make the winning move until you get to lap number 60. But it's all about being in contention.
Absolutely, and I'm a little, interested in the fuel situation here. Sometimes at these plate tracks, you're going to have guys that are going to, be okay hanging in that third, fifth spot, and if you can save enough fuel, that's going to shorten up your last pit stop. So a lot of times at these plate tracks, that's what it turns into. Even though you might not think it's going to be a fuel mileage race, still everybody's trying to save as much as they can. That way they can get in and out of that box on the final stop and cut that pit lane time down. So and if you're in the mid pack here, you're kind of in position to do that. If you're Logan, you're leading the race, you're burning more fuel than anybody right now. So it looks like Logan, he's not too concerned on the fuel situation. I think he just wants to go out there, lead the most laps, try to get that bonus point. And at the end of the day, I'm sure he's going to be going for that win.
Yeah, with only 10 races in the season, every bonus point's going to be crucial, right? I mean, every lap, every time you lead a lap or lead the most laps, right, that is a huge benefit to your fight for the championship, and to get things kicked off, especially with a win, can really keep you in contention for that much longer for the championship as they come up on the lap machine. Let's see who that is going to be. I think that is Chris Rude, the walking and rolling number 32. Obviously lost the draft, has a bit of damage on that truck, getting put one lap down. Also Michael Jones, Noah Mahalski off the lead lap, but on the racetrack, Chris into the outside wall, trying to stay out of the way. And
yeah, hopefully he can tag on to the draft here, see if he can get down and try to get that draft. Unfortunate to see Chris caught up in that early wreck. He's also been a guy that's been a huge supporter of the league and the series with his partnership with Walking and Rolling Costumes. So unfortunate night for Chris. I know it's not the outing he wanted to, but I'm sure he'll be really excited to get back in 2 weeks once we go to Iowa.
Yeah, that'll be a really fun one. Iowa is really a driver's track. You can run almost anywhere on that little short track. And these trucks are a lot of fun there too, right? And they are not necessarily the best handling cars on the sim. And you can really kind of manhandle them, wheel them around there, and get the most out of them. So going to be exciting to see the talent rise to the top in that one. Right now, talent at the front. Logan Threlkeld and Brian Hennings challenging from the outside, able to get the nose in front down the backstretch.
We got the two Brians lined up here on the top, Brian Hennings and Brian Chambliss. So two guys that are obviously really good at plate racing, find themselves up front here. Looks like the Zen cars here. I'm watching Philip Brewer here, and he's not pushing Logan super aggressively. I'm wondering if Philip's maybe going for that strategy, trying to save a little bit of fuel. So that looks like what it is to me. He's not really pushing, all the way around the track, but he's close enough there that looks like Logan's retaining the lead every time they go by.
Yeah, getting that little pocket of air, pushing him forward, and it's working. He did lead the lap that time around, but Hennings getting that much closer to taking the lead at the line. And the outside, usually the one with the momentum, right? You've got kind of the longer distance around, you get a little bit more of that centrifugal force, and it's not working at the moment. They're not quite synced up as well as the Zin machines, who are pretty tight in line, even without pushing super hard. They're keeping good pace down on the inside lane, but this time looks like Hennings, it's going to be very close at the stripe. Still, it's Threlkeld leading another one, and continuing to add to that tally. 2 by 2 by 2 they go, all the way back here to the 28 machine. I believe that's actually Bobby Patricia in the 78, but he's showing us the 28 up on the truck. In the 5 machine, Mark McFadden up here in 20th as well. He's up 5 positions. So these guys kind of hanging tough here at the back of this 2 by 2, and then we've got a few stragglers single file, which they're probably happy to run that way for now. It can be pretty intense being side by side like this for so long.
We just hit just past halfway here as we come up on another lap car. I'm kind of watching this outside lane, trying to see how aggressive are they going to be with side drafting, because typically the top lane, it's usually where you want to be if you're kind of battling for the lead. You just have more options up there, right? You can run your middle lane, you can kind of go down and pinch the inside lane and dump all that air on the spoiler of the inside lane, and they're going to pull them straight backwards. But I haven't really seen the top guys do that just yet. It's probably good. We're only halfway. It's still early on, but I think as we get these laps closing down and get closer towards the end, you're going to see a lot of aggressive side drafting as these guys are battling tighter and tighter for the lead.
Yeah, I think at this point they're kind of setting up their position for pit stops, right? Just trying to figure out where you want to be, try and get close to the front, but not be too aggressive, because you got to be able to get to the inside groove at some point to come down pit road. The Zin machines, maybe that's their hope. They're just going to stick to the bottom. They've done a great job so far. Threlkeld, again, the leader at the stripe. He has now led 15 laps and closing in probably on most laps led if he can get a handful more. So,
yeah, Logan doing a really good job keeping that truck out front, and Phillip obviously doing a great job keeping him there. As you can see, the big push down the back straightaway here. Those Zin cars, if they're going to be paired up all night long, they're going to be tough to beat. But look at Brian Chambliss shove Brian Hennings off into the corner here as he gets him out there, but looks like they just got a little too far apart. Wasn't able to stay on his bumper, but it's just kind of being back and forth right now. They're kind of just yo-yoing back and forth. And we got some pit stops starting here, Adam.
Yeah, trying to see who that one is. Yeah, that may be Chris Rude. Oh, no, that's somebody else. Can you see who is on pit lane right now? That is Matt Shinosky in the 81. He's trying to catch him there as he was going down, and he's made an early pit stop from the back of the pack. He is on the lead lap, so interesting move to do that, but that should get him to the end. So maybe just like you said, topping up on fuel. He'll get probably put a lap down if, you know, he's actually taking an extended stay there. Not too sure if he is maybe calling it a night or has to step away for a moment, but yeah, that's going to be a lap lost here. He's been in the box for over 35 seconds, and the leader's coming by now, so maybe unrelated to the pit cycle for that specific stop.
Yeah, it looks to be, but I am interested to see when we're going to start seeing these pit stops, because there's a few different ways you can approach it. Some guys, they like to be on pit lane first, get the fuel, get off pit lane, because then if the caution comes out, you're good on fuel, you don't need to pit, and you're going to cycle to the lead. But then there's some other strategies where you're trying to save as much as you can, stay out as long as you can, and then only get a splash, and then, you know, have shorter time off pit lane. So as we kind of wind these laps down and get closer towards the end, I think the group that pits first is probably going to be, you know, the guys that are going to be in a really good spot to try and get this win. Because then if that caution comes out, which, you know, we're at Daytona, that's bound to happen, right? At Daytona, as we get to the closing laps, those guys that are going to be good on fuel and get to pit lane first, you know, they're going to cycle to the lead and be in a really good spot.
Yeah, and we're about 20 laps into this run. These guys have done a really fantastic job keeping things orderly for the moment. Just looking at the field and who's up here in this lead group, we've got 25 drivers all the way back here to Brandon Wallace in the 99. Rob Denton in the 93. He's back here in 26th, about 28 seconds back. And Caleb Weekly right here, Chris Rude, those guys all just trying to fight for as much speed as possible. Michael Jones is on the racetrack as well. He is 2 laps down, but all by himself. And then Noah Michalski in the 03, he is 8 laps down. That truck looks okay, but here come the leaders closing in to put him a 9th lap down. So not the way that he wanted to start this season. We know Noah from you know, the Cup Series as well as the Below the Double Yellow Racing League. He's a strong contender no matter where you go.
Yeah, Noah, he's really, really improved over the years. He's gotten a lot better. I've watched him become a better race car driver, and he's, you know, starting to compete for those top 5s and those wins. You know, I don't think it's going to be, you know, too long in the Cup Series before we see Noah Michalski in victory circle. I know he's not having the night that he wanted tonight, and, you know, it's really unfortunate for a lot of the Neon Auto guys. You know, we had Kyle Peacock. He was going to be a force to be reckoned with. He got taken out early. Caleb Weekly's got a lot of damage. Obviously, Noah here as he's falling back, going another lap down. But I know he's going to be excited for tonight for the Cup Series, and I know he's going to want to rebound. Really, all those Neon Auto guys, they got a lot of strength and numbers, and so you get those guys lined up together coming into the Cup Series later tonight. You better watch out. Those guys are going to be tough to beat.
And they've had a little bit more practice in this race, just getting to work with each other, and, you know, seat time is always a good thing. The more you can go around, even Daytona being one of the easiest tracks to run on your own. It's good to have time in the pack, right? No matter what kind of car you're in. It's just always good to kind of get accustomed to it, right? It could be a little tough to get back into that mindset if you haven't done it in a little while. As out in front, yeah. Threlkeld still out in front, just continuing to power around the tri-oval each and every time. He takes a little advantage, and he's now got 21 laps led out of the 38 that we've completed. He is really,
he's doing great job up there, and he's got to thank his Zen teammate there. And like I said, I don't know if they're officially teammates or not, but they got the same truck, and maybe they just figured, hey, we're going to work together tonight since we got the same truck. But give a lot of credit to Philip Brewer there, pushing him every single time they come around. He's giving him enough of a push off the corners to get him the lead at the start-finish line, because they're going back and forth. But every time it seems like at the line, Philip Brewer is getting Logan a big enough push to where he's getting those laps led credited to his name. And when we're talking points, having the most laps led, that's another reason to try to get some more points led, or more laps led to get some more points.
Oh boy, incident coming onto pit road. 76 goes around. The 37 got into the wall as well, and that truck might have some suspension damage. Let's go back and take a look at the replay there. It looked like just getting on the brakes. That was Jeff Allen.
Yeah, I don't know what quite happened here. It looks like there might be some contact. No, it looks like he just kind of lost it by himself.
And Spinelli, not too sure what happened with him. He just came in really hot, and I think, just a little too hard. He was trying to stay off. Oh, he caught the 28.
He was trying to stay out of the 37 and just nowhere really to go there. Kind of bounced off Bobby Petrika right there. And those guys that spawn on pit lane, that's going to be really tough for those guys. They're going to lose a lot of time here on pit lane. So I like the call to try to pit early and get that fuel to be the first ones on pit lane, but it looks like they just overstepped it a little bit on entry there, and that's going to really bite them.
Yeah, you got to execute if you're going to go with that strategy, and not a lot of takers in that group. It would have been, maybe a little tough to keep up the pace there with just 4 trucks, but they're back up to speed. Some of them are. Here comes the 76 of Spinelli right up near the pack, and he is going to go 1 lap down. Bobby Petrika a bit further up along with Jordan Trass, and they're about 45 seconds off the leader as the 76 gets back up on the racing surface, well behind this lead group. But going to be interesting to see how things start to cycle out. They are the first takers, though. Nobody else bringing it in this time. A little bobble there from the 24 through the trial lap. Oh, and he's in the wall.
Trouble.
The
Big wreck.
The 63 of Max Cost, the 15 machine of Derek Forrest. Those guys all involved in this one as we were taking a look there. Let's see how this all started. It was 3 wide, and the 15 and the 24 came together. A big hit in the tribal. Big hit for the 84 machine. That is Harold Spangenberg as well, getting a piece of that one. Yeah, just maybe a little bit too close for comfort, I guess. Let's take another look at it.
Trying to go to his outside, I think, or no, they were just too wide. It looks like I'll have to get another look at it, but I don't know if the 15 kind of came up a little bit, or the car to his outside, if the trying
24
to side draft, and
yeah,
the 24 there. I'll say, is that Austin Belkey in the 24 there, or I think we have 2 24 trucks in the field. Austin Belkey is the 24 in the timing and scoring, but I think we had another truck. Yeah, so Austin's okay. Austin's doing a great job. I'm not quite sure who that 24 painted truck was, but it looks like just maybe a side draft gone wrong.
Yeah, trying to find who that was. Not sure here. Is that Jeff Allen? No. Yeah, we'll find out at some point here, but really it was those 2 drivers getting together causing that one. Other drivers, collateral damage, actually kind of past that initial incident. Things get shaken up, you get around it, and then it can be trucks all over the place trying to figure out where to go. Right now, though, it's Logan Threlkeld and Philip Brewer going to bring them down pit road, and those who stayed on the lead lap, like Caleb Weekly and a few of those guys, they are very thankful for an incident happening. And a few of those guys who already pit, right? That is these 2, Jordan Trask and Bobby Petrika. Even with the incident getting on to pit road, they're going to cycle up to the front, I think, as they catch up to the field.
Yeah, if they stay out here and they're good enough on fuel, which I think they would be had they pit that early, they're going to cycle to the front here. So now it's going to be interesting to see which guys want to take fuel only to try to keep the most track position possible, or if we're going to see some guys put tires on it here because they're going to want handling here for the end of the race. But yeah, it looks like Bobby's going to stay out here, and I think he's going to assume the lead.
It looks to be the case as Threlkeld into the box. This can still be tricky even under yellow to get in there, as you see the 55 machine of Justin Ritchie. He's trying to get it lined up in the box, and here go the Zinn machines off of pit road.
be tight off pit lane. Did Brian Hennings get them off pit lane? It's going to be really tight. I think Logan still won the race off pit lane.
Let's take a look back here. It's going to be, wow, that is about as close as it gets.
Yep, so Logan's going to be the first one off pit lane, but I think we're going to have 2, maybe 3 trucks staying out, or did another one come down? So maybe just, oh, we got Bobby, the 19 here.
It's going to be, yeah, Bobby and Jordan Trass. It's going to stay out.
Jordan Trass. Looks like that's not the 19, I guess the 79. So I guess looked like the 19 there for a moment, but no, that's going to be Jordan Trass. So that's going to put Logan third here on the restart. We're going to be, when we go back racing here, we're going to be inside 15 to go here. So things are going to heat up here, Adam. Should be exciting.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting. Also interesting to note, Philip Brewer came out behind Brian Hennings, so the 2 Zen machines will still be nose to tail on the restart. We're going to go to a quick commercial break to hear from tonight's race sponsors. We'll be right back.
What is up, everyone? I am Joshua Banks, driver of the number 35 Matco Tool Supra.
Comes back. He's going to send it to the inside. They're 3 wide for the race lead. They're going to so Banks is going to win it. Unbelievable.
And also co-owner of J Distributors for the sponsor of Saturday Night Racing. So I just want to thank every single one of you for tuning into tonight's race. I hope you will put on a good show for you guys. I hope that you will enjoy it. So if you do, make sure you drop a thumbs up to V-Speed and subscribe to them, because they, as y'all know, if you haven't already, they put on some great broadcasts. So I'll make this short and sweet. The main reason for sponsoring Saturday Night Racing League is because I've been with these guys for a long time. I've raced with a lot of them. I've been through some rough times, some good times, and arguments and everything like that. But still, grand scheme of things, been through a lot of these guys, and I really do like where this league's going. I want to support it. They've given a lot to the league already, and I think, you know, I'm capable to support back. So that's what we're doing, and we want to keep this league free, you know, for people to join, to have a good time, come in and race and just have fun, you know, and that's what we're all about. So that's the main reason, and that's all I really have to say about it. So I hope you do enjoy the race, enjoy the season coming up. We are hopefully going to put on a great season for you guys. Also, make sure to check out my YouTube channel, Banksy the iRacer. Link will be in the description. Check out, and you can see my point of view, see what's happening on my end. If you want to watch it, it's completely fine. If not, no big deal. So come on over, hang out after the broadcast of this race, and hopefully we'll see you over there. If not, enjoy it, and I'll see you guys on track.
Back at the racetrack now with the SNR Challenger Series opening race at Daytona International Speedway. Brought to you by J Distributors, 29 Graphics, Clark Print Shop, and Walking and Rolling Costumes. It's been a good one so far. Just 2 cautions, and the first one a pretty big one. This last one involving a handful of drivers. Let's take a look at the race recap. Just those 2 cautions, 15 lead changes. So far, it's been Logan Threlkeld being the dominant truck. He's back to 3rd on this restart, and the 2 drivers who pit early before the second yellow, Bobby Petricka and Jordan Trask, going to be leading us back to the green flag. Hope you're enjoying the race tonight. Make sure to cheer on your favorite driver. And who do you think is going to take the victory here with just coming to 15 laps to go? It's really anybody's race at this point, isn't it, Jeff?
It absolutely is. Bobby looks like he took the outside here on the restart. Going to get a good jump. Brian Henning's going to be right there behind him here. Jordan Trask might be in trouble. No, looks like Bobby's going to go down here and cover that middle line, but I wouldn't be surprised if those 2 Zen trucks, they want to get back to the lead here and try to control this thing. We're starting to get to crunch time here. Also see this 97 here of looks to be Matthew Radford. He's a guy that I talked about that was going to be competitive tonight. Showed a lot of promise in the clash last week, and he's right here in prime position here to maybe make some moves.
And there goes the 12 making a move up to the top. He's going to abandon his drafting partner, and he's going to go with the other most dominant driver here tonight. That is Brian Hennings, who's been leading this top groove for much of the race, and he'll now be subjected to 2nd in that lane. And down on the bottom, Petricka leading the way. Here comes Threlkeld with a big run. Gonna get the lead again at the stripe. No matter which lane he's in, who's pushing him, he keeps getting to the front.
Yeah, Logan will not be denied tonight. So he wasted no time on that lap getting up to speed. He wanted to get to the lead.
Yeah.
And with an awesome push there by Brian Hennings, that was made possible.
And this is a decision point for him. Does he stay with that 74 machine on this top side, or does he go down? I think he's nearly clear. It looks like he is clear down the backstretch. Could have an opportunity to drop down, but the 28, rather the 78 of Bobby Petricka, going to be able to power back through. But yeah, Logan's still with the advantage. The Zin machine looking strong tonight. Here comes Petricka, though, down on the inside.
And if I'm Logan here, you know, even if I clear Bobby, I'm probably going to want to stay up on the top lane just because you got those options. And you got one of the best pushers behind you right now in Brian Hennings. So that's where I would want to stay. It's going to be, you know, just a matter of time, though, before these guys start getting impatient. These guys are, you know, they're not going to be content just to push Logan to the victory here. Logan's going to have to earn it. He's going to have to get out there and, you know, probably make some blocks in order to make this happen. But, you know, as we start approaching, you know, the 10 to go here, I wouldn't be surprised we start seeing a third line form.
And these guys further back in the pack. Also, another opportunity if they had lost the draft before or had some damage. Looks like Caleb Weekly's gotten his truck cleaned up pretty well. The 13 Trevor Project machine back here in 24th, your pole sitter. Looks like he's able to keep up at this point. So that is a few more contenders within this lead pack. And we're coming close to 10 laps to go. Drivers will start to establish where they want to run and who they want to get up to the front with. Like you said, Logan's got to earn it, and sometimes being that dominant truck can be to your disadvantage actually in those closing laps. People are like, oh, he led enough laps tonight, I'm not going to help him out anymore. And
right,
it can be tough, right? You've got to just be aggressive. I think if you've been up there for that long, you've got to really throw some blocks. Here comes Hennings now, goes to the bottom.
Brian. Yeah, Brian was, he's had enough. He wants to try to clear Logan. I think he is going to clear him now. Does he stick here on the bottom or does he get up? If I'm Brian here, I'm trying to get to the top lane here. I feel like you can just control this race better from the top lane, but looks like here comes Logan again. A little bit of side draft. I think it might be Logan at the line again.
We'll have to see. Thorkeld has led 27 laps. If he leads, I think he's got most laps led captured as he almost drops down.
He almost got split.
And the 97 nearly got into his right rear, which could be tragic through these corners. Hennings has led 5 laps. It's too late for him to go up there and get most laps led, but could still lead that. Most important one is we've got trucks dropping through the grass down the backstretch, and this may not end up well. I think we're about to be 4 wide here.
No, and we got a truck on the apron here. He might wash back up into the pack, and he is.
They're wrecking further up the 34 into the wall. So Darius Pierce
gets hit, and caution's gonna fly. Yeah, that wasn't gonna work. I'm not sure what sent that truck down to the inside off the racetrack, but anytime you're carrying that much speed, you know, going off into the corner on an apron, you know, you really have, you know, no control over your truck. You're gonna wash up, and I'm sure he was probably trying to, you know, get out of the gas and try to slow the truck up, but you know, there's just too much speed there. He's gonna wash up and he's gonna collect a few guys. So
yeah, and
really unfortunate for Jordan.
Yeah, Joe Spinelli gets turned around here. He takes a huge hit into the outside wall. That's actually what brought the yellow out as he gets turned head on into the turn 3 wall. The 2 machine of Michael Jones, nowhere really he could go. And we also saw a handful of other drivers get involved in that one. So Darius Pierce, I think, tried to go up the racetrack to create some space. That's the 34 machine up there. He gets into the 33 and then bounces off the wall. The 33 goes down the racetrack. Trucks are slamming doors all around. So multiple incidents and lots of damage there. Noah Halski gets another piece of that one. So he's been involved in a couple things here tonight. Not the way he wants this one to go, but yeah.
No, not at all. Tough night for Noah for sure. And but looking like Caleb, I think he got through that cleanly. So I know he was involved in the earlier wrecks and got some damage, and he's been able to get that truck fixed. But it looks like Caleb's in a pretty good spot here now, inside 10 laps to go, and he's got his teammate right there in front of him, and Max Cost. You know, if these guys, you know, get hooked up bumper to bumper, they might, you know, have something for these leaders. You know, and it's only a matter of time until we really see these guys going 3 wide for the lead. We haven't seen 3 wide for the lead a ton yet. We've seen that mid pack and has resulted in some crashes. But looks like these guys are going to go down pit lane and get some damage fixed. But yeah, inside 10 laps to go here. You know, we're going to be more so around, you know, 6, 7 to go when we go back racing here. It's go time, Adam.
Yeah, that's definitely go time. Really, if we were under green, you start making moves. About 10 laps to go, and then The 5 lap to go mark is when, you know, it's no holds barred at that point. You're really pushing and trying to make a lane, even if there isn't space for one. Yeah, a lot of cars on pit road right now, either just getting damage fixed, maybe throwing another set of tires on there. We've only run about 8 laps on this stint. Is there anybody you want to pull up in the booth here, Jeff?
You know, I was just about ready to ask you that. How about we pull in Logan Threlkeld, the dominant truck of the day? I'm going to go ahead and pull Logan into the broadcast booth here. Logan, it's Jeff and Adam up in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Got a copy.
Well, driver, you've been looking really good out there tonight. You've led the most laps of anybody. Seems every time you might get shuffled back, you're back in the lead another lap later. So what's it been able to be out there leading all these laps, and what are you going to need to try to pull off this win tonight?
Oh man, it's surreal coming into this. You know, had a decent qualifying. Think I started out there in 8th, so it felt pretty good. But staying up in front, it's not easy. A lot of bumping coming from behind, getting a little loose in the corners whenever that happens. But basically, hold it straight and keep the hammer down. That's how it's going to be won here at Daytona.
You see that you've had some help from a truck that's basically identical to you, Philip Brewer. You know, is that a teammate, Logan? Adam and I, we're trying to figure this out. You guys are in the Zen trucks and been working well together. So is that a teammate or is that an evil twin out there?
I think it's an evil twin. You know, it's the evil Santa. He's I've never talked to the guy before, but showed up with the same paint, and we've worked well together the whole time. So I'll gladly race with him at some point.
Yeah, well, it's been really fun to watch you guys duke it out there, and also you're in a good spot here as we're getting really close here towards the end. So good luck the rest of the way, Logan, and maybe we'll be talking to you in Victory Lane.
Hopefully so. Thank you, guys.
That was Logan there, driver of the number 12 Zen truck. He really has been the dominant truck of the day. Wouldn't you agree, Adam?
Yeah, 28 laps led out of 52. At this point, he has secured most laps led, so that's an extra bonus point. You know, in his holster there for this championship. Hoping to cap things off, I would say, right? Just close the race out. It's one thing to dominate, but Daytona, doesn't matter where you're at on that last lap until you get to the finish line, right? You got to be at the front at that point, but you could find yourself finishing 19th if you're headed into turn 3 as the leader. It can really change that quickly at this track. So just gotta keep that car out in front to close things out, as we've got still quite a few cars on the lead lap. It's 23 drivers to be exact. Joe Spinelli going 1 lap down. Johnny Rapp is 3 laps down. Michael Jones 5 laps down. A handful of other guys still on the racetrack, but multiple laps off the pace. Looks like Austin Belke might have taken it behind the wall here after big damage in that last incident. But yeah, about to get things going after the 3rd caution. Not too sure, you know, who's going to make a run at it at this point. Still lots of opportunities to be had, and a lot of moves to be made from deeper in the field, especially. Some of these guys have not yet made their final move towards the front. It's going to be very...
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting here to see who gets the jump here. You got to get a good restart here to retain the lead here. And it looks like, I think Radford's going to select the bottom here. He's going to give Logan the top. I don't know if I would have done that. He's got a really good pusher behind him there in Brian Hennings. So here we go. We're going back racing.
Yeah, 55, Justin Ritchie, big shove to the 97. Going to get him well out in front. And not necessarily how you want to get launched on these restarts. How about that, though? Philip Brewer, he jumps up in line with his drafting buddy. Logan Threlkeld's up there, the 74 of Hennings in between them. And you see guys starting to make those moves to where they want to be here in the last 5 or 6 laps. The 78 of Bobby Petricka, who's still up in the front after cycling there through the pit cycle. He is in the 8th position. And I don't know if he's got a partner to work with or not, but he's at least up here in the top 10 in the closing moments of this race. How about Matthew Radford, though, with the big shove from Justin Ritchie, still out in front through turns 3 and 4?
Yeah, Radford out up front and towards the lead here when it matters most here towards the end of this race. We'll see if he can hang on to it. But here comes Brian Hennings, Logan Threlkeld. They're going to try to get back to the lead here. And Brian Hennings been such a great pusher all night long. But, you know, it's only a matter of time. How long is he going to be willing to push the 12 truck? You know, eventually Brian's out here to try to win this race for himself. So I think he's going to maybe try to use that 12 truck. He knows that he can get to the front pushing him. But when it's all said and done here, we get that white flag. You know, it's all about who's going to make that big move.
Tell you what, Caleb Weekly, your pole sitter, I think this is where the damage is starting to come into effect. He's lost a little bit of space to the drivers up in front of him. He's gained a couple positions on this restart, up to now 16th, but you can see guys starting to go right on by him, and might be tough to cycle to the front from that far back. Looking for somebody to help him out. Here comes Max Cost, his teammate behind, as really tight racing through the tri-oval. And it is still Threlkeld leading the top groove. The 97 of Radford down low. It is 5 laps to go. Justin Ritchie gets pushed up the track by Julio Villalobos. And the 35 has been up here in the top 10 for a good chunk of this race. And right now just trying to hang on to the top 4 and make his move. Now going to jump to the top side between Brewer and Hennings.
And that's probably the right call there. It looks like that bottom lane's starting to get kind of dissolved, a little disorganized. Really good push here from Hennings to Logan here to the front. And Julio, boy, he's just kind of been lurking tonight. Hasn't really, I don't think, been up front. I don't think he's led a lap, but he's been quietly inside the top 10, seems like all night. And now he's in a really good position here to maybe make a big move. It'll be interesting to see if Philip Brewer, is he going to try to make a move here from that 4th lane here on the top? If Julio pokes his nose out and wants to go 3,
big bobble.
I think they would want to go with him.
Yeah, big bobble.
That could have been ugly.
From Justin Ritchie, able to hang on to it. Almost got into Brian Hennings, and he is pushing viciously the 97 of Matthew Radford, trying to get him out in front and get an advantage to the bottom lane. It would be to his advantage if he can get by the 12 of Threlkeld. Not able to do it just yet, but nearly clear, and that could be an opportunity for him to jump up in front and make a move to get to the lead. Not able to do it that time. Here comes Threlkeld and Hennings pushing the top groove, pulling them along. The 97 of Radford still leading. It's going to be 3 laps to go from Daytona in the opening race of the Challenger Series.
If I'm anybody on the bottom right here, I'm pushing as hard as I can, especially if I'm Justin Ritchie, to get clear of Logan. That's the only way I really think you're going to have a shot at this win. Otherwise, it's going to be the 97 or Logan's going to win this race. So, Justin, you got to, really push hard here. Try to get yourself clear. And I know he's probably doing all he can, but those guys on top, they're pushing just as hard. What a run down the back straightaway.
And nobody's made that 3rd groove just yet. We might see it here as they come back to 2 laps to go. That would give you just enough time maybe to get up there and get alongside at the stripe. And if things start to get broken up in either of these 2 lanes, they're going to start to lose that momentum. 2 laps to go at Daytona. Threlkeld, the dominant truck, he's up here on the top side. The best pusher behind him, the 97 of Matthew Radford, has come from the 11th spot. He's up to lead the inside groove through turns 1 and 2. It is neck and neck, and we still have quite a few trucks in contention. It's 17 up here in this lead group. Now drivers starting to make some moves, about 12th on back, and here goes Threlkeld down to the bottom. Could that be the right move? He's gonna get a big shove though.
Yeah, that was definitely a risky move. If I'm Logan, I think I would have wanted to keep that top, but he's the one in the driver's seat. He's the one leading all the laps tonight. He probably knows what he's doing. How about Julio pushing Brian Hennings to the race lead? 1 to go this time.
White flag in the air. It's Threlkeld. It's Hennings at the front of the pack. There's a lap machine up in front of them. That could spell disaster if they don't get out of the way, potentially. But now the top side with the advantage. Threlkeld powering back along the bottom, trying to get the lead again, and there is the 34 machine up in front. He's going to go to the top side. Hopefully the whole field goes on by, but that's going to limit the options. Here goes Weekly trying to jump to the 3rd groove. They're going to bang doors. Cars spinning.
Contact. Caleb's going to be in it.
The 79
Joe
also.
Cross is in it.
Lots of drivers involved there on the backstretch. It's Logan Threlkeld with the advantage. Can he make it back to the stripe first? Here goes Matthew Radford, going to jump to the outside. It's going to be a drag race to the finish line, and Radford's going to win it.
Wow, what a finish. I know that one's going to hurt for Logan. He had led, such a big portion of the race, but man, Radford just timed that perfectly, got the position when he needed it, and he's going to come home your Challenger Series winner here at Daytona. What a finish.
Wow, yeah, 3 drivers within 1/10 of a second, and Threlkeld actually falls to 3rd at the end of that one. That's wild that he was leading out of turn number 4 and couldn't get back there. Actually loses out to Radford and Hennings. But what a race from the 12 and from the 74, and Radford doing everything he needed to do to make the move at the right time. We'll interview the winner and the top 3 right after a quick commercial break. To take your sim racing experience to the next level, look no further, because 29 Graphics has got you covered. Introducing 29 Graphics, the premier provider of high-quality sim racing wraps. Whether you're a professional racer or weekend warrior, our custom design wraps will make your car stand out from the competition. 29 Graphics is now the official graphics design partner of Saturday Night Racing League.
It's a big dive. McWhorter might just try to run him out of room here. Oh, he put him in the wall. They're going to crash. They both crash.
Contact 29 Graphics on their Discord or the link in the video description. We are back at the racetrack now. Going to take a look at the replay from tonight's finish of the Challenger Series at Daytona. You see Logan Threlkeld leading the way out of turn number 4, and this is how close it was coming to the stripe. You can see the 55 of Justin Ritchie using the apron there. Not really supposed to do that, but I don't think he gained anything out of it. But ultimately, the 97 able to get the win by 60 thousandths of a second over the 74 of Brian Hennings, who was just a touch behind him there, and then Logan Threlkeld comes home in the 3rd position. What a finish tonight to kick things off. We're going to go down to the 3rd place finisher, Mr. Threlkeld, who we've already talked to late in this one. But let's see if we can get him up here to have a quick chat following tonight's race, where he was the dominant truck. Let's see if we can pull him in. I don't know if you can find him down there. We go. Hey, Logan, this is Jeff and Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
I've got a copy.
Well, not the win that I'm sure you were hoping for coming out of turn number 4 with the lead. Just the 97 makes the move at the right time and able to steal it away from you there in the closing moments. What was your mindset going into those last few laps with the lead in your hands?
You know, it's kind of upsetting. You know, can't be too mad. First race of the season, Daytona, of course, but going into it, just like I said earlier, keep the hammer down, keep the truck straight, and just see where it goes. You know, I saw them at the very last second make that move to the outside. Matthew and Brian, they had a great timing on that. I had no time to react and stay in front of them.
Yeah, just, you know, you're kind of a sitting duck there as the leader. You dominated this race with 30 laps led, and that 12 machine was out front for, you know, half the race. You know, people might have been tired of seeing you out there. We said that can sometimes be a disadvantage if you dominate one of these plate races, but, you know, you put on a great show, leading so many laps, and we go to Iowa in the next race in this series. How do you feel about going out there? Very different type of racing.
Very different up there in Iowa. You know, it's still a great track. It's going to be a lot more difficult than this, obviously, but got 2 weeks to prepare for it. But for now, I got to turn around and get ready for this Cup race.
Yeah, awesome job out there so far in the Challenger Series. You get 3rd here to kick things off. Good start to the championship. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, of course. You guys for the broadcast. You know, my V-Speed family. Love being up there in the booth. Can't wait to get that fired back up. And of course, Cornerstone Motorsports, new team over there in the Overtake iRacing League I'll be running with. And then, of course, the league admins here at SNR. All those guys do a great job keeping things rolling and setting us up with this new series.
Awesome, Logan. Well, fantastic job out there. We're excited to see how you do in the Cup side of things, but great finish tonight, and yeah, we'll catch you at Iowa.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. It's Logan Threlkel dominant here, but ultimately comes home in the third position. Let's go now to second place, Brian Hennings, and I believe you are with him there, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm down here on pit lane alongside Brian Hennings. And Brian, you were up front pretty much the entire race. You were looking like one of the best pushers out there tonight. What more did you need to maybe have a shot at that victory there at the end?
What's his name? Julio. He came in right after the race and tried to apologize to me for not pushing me to the win. I'm like, it's all good, man. He was, trying to manage his temps. But I ended up pushing Matthew. He's actually a VRX teammate. So, hey, it's all good. But, you know it is. You just got to manage your temps. And there just wasn't enough pushing there at the end. So there was an opening for Matt. He jumped up. So I pushed him.
Did you guys struggle at all tonight with the overheating issues? I mean, it seemed like you could get on just about anybody tonight, and you were able to push them to the lead. It seemed like we saw you push Logan Threlkel to the lead a number of times, a couple of your VRX teammates. Were the temps, a concern at all, or was it pretty much every time you saw somebody in front of you, they were going to the front?
It was a little bit. It wasn't that bad, but I mean, I kept having people drop a little bit back behind me. So even if I got up on the guy in front of me, I had nobody close enough that we, three tandem could push better. But it wasn't too bad. I'm curious to see how the Xfinity car is going to go up next.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see you in the Cup Series later tonight. Next week, though, for the Challenger Series, or actually the week after, we're actually off next week, but the week after, we're at Iowa Speedway. How do you feel about going to that short track in Iowa? I think you maybe have a chance to maybe get a win there.
Yeah, we'll see. I do like Iowa. It's challenging. When you come off, I think it's coming out of 2, you go over that little hump and you can get sideways a little bit. Yeah, looking forward to it. Week off, and then yeah, we'll see what happens at Iowa.
Well, best of luck at Iowa. Best of luck in the Cup Series later tonight. Before we let you go, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Just all my VRX teammates, and also Robert Sanders, owner of VRX. Thank you, Robert, for supporting us, and you're welcome, Mr. Matthew, for pushing you to the win.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be pretty thankful of that push. So you look like you were the truck that could just push about anybody to the lead tonight. So an awesome
Thank
race. Good job, Brian, and best of
thank
luck
you to
in
B
that,
Speed.
Cup
Thank you to
Series.
B Speed.
That was Brian Hennings, second place tonight. And I think we got Adam Baker is going to be standing alongside your race winner tonight, Matthew Radford. I believe they're in victory lane.
Yep, and Matthew, we're going to get him up here. Matthew Radford, this is Adam and Jeff in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
I sure do. How are you guys?
Hey, pretty good, man. Sure you're feeling pretty awesome about the win here at Daytona. It's not easy to get one of these super speedway wins, but you made the moves at the right time, making that pass coming out of turn 4. How does it feel to get it done here, especially in such a dramatic way?
I really didn't come in expecting anything. I'm usually the guy that gets involved in that last lap crash, which I don't think happened this time. But thanks to some practice hosted by VRX and Mama T, I was able to practice running my lines and making moves when I needed to. So.
Yeah, you made the move at the right time. You lead 7 laps here, and ultimately the most important one. Just was there anybody out there that you partnered with throughout the race, really? That got you up to this lead. Was there anybody that you worked with, and any trouble you had with the draft or overheating or anything like that? And ultimately, just overall, how was your the drive to the front throughout most of this race?
So I started in, I think, 11th, and I stayed there around that spot for a good majority of the beginning of the race. And then I started getting impatient. There was a guy who was a little swirly in front of me, and I wanted to get around him. So I ended up working with, I don't even know who it was, for a couple of laps. The goal was just to avoid all incidents the whole race. I wanted to start in the back, but I didn't want to not qualify as well. So I just tried my best in qualifying and tried my best during the race. There at the end, I partnered with Brian. He got me the win, as well as, man, I wish I knew who was behind me. I should probably pay more attention.
Yeah, Brian.
But thank you to who that was.
Yeah, Brian gave you that.
Justin.
Yeah, Brian gave you that push there to the win, and he mentioned, you guys being VRX friends there, and ultimately he didn't have the push from behind, but he saw you jump up and he was going to push you through. So, finding the right people at the right time, making the right moves there, coming out of turn 4, you get the win in the opener, and it's such a dramatic finish, just 60 thousandths to take the win. We go to Iowa in a couple of weeks for race number 2. How do you feel about going out there?
To be honest with you, I've never driven Iowa, so I got a lot of practice to do.
Yeah, it is very different, obviously, 7/8 of the mile and short track
For
racing.
sure.
But if you like Richmond, it is similar to that one. And I know Jeff and we both love Iowa, so definitely a fun one. And we're excited to see if you can go out there and follow up this victory with another strong run. And anybody you want to give a shout out to for tonight's win?
I've already given a shout out to VRX and Mama T, but definitely Brian Hennings and everybody else that's on VRX. They're amazing. If you haven't joined any of their races that they have, you definitely should.
Awesome, Matthew. Well, congrats on the win here, and just an incredible way to get things done at Daytona. You take the win. So go celebrate, and we'll catch you in a couple weeks at Iowa.
All right, appreciate you.
Thank you. That is your race winner, Matthew Radford, taking the victory tonight at Daytona. And what a finish it was. The top 3 all within 1/10 of a second. And let's take a look at the rest of our results here from Daytona. Only 3 cautions, 25 lead changes, and the last one being out of turn number 4. Matthew Radford getting around Logan Threlkeld to take the win. Brian Hennings comes home in the 2nd spot. Logan comes home in that 3rd position. Justin Ritchie, who had an up and down race, he comes home in the 4th position. Julio Villalobos comes home in the 5th spot. Philip Brewer going to come home in 6th. Brian Chambliss going to come home in the 7th spot. Matt Dominique in 8th. Bobby Petricka in 9th. And Ethan Collier going to come home in the 10th position. Good start to the season for all of them.
11th, it's going to be Brandon Wallace, followed by Mark McFadden. Good run for him there in the 5 truck. Jeremy Reed, Max Kost, Dakota Floyd, Spanger, Spiker, Rude, Tross, and Weekly round out your top 20.
21st tonight was Benjamin Richards. 22nd, Rob Denton. 23rd, Sedarius Purse. 24th, Johnny Rapp. 25th, Joe Spinelli. 26th, Jeff Allen. 27th, Austin Belkey. 28th, Noah Mahalski. 29th, Michael Jones. And rounding out the top 30 tonight is Derek Forrest. In 31st.
And rounding out the rest of these, it goes Matt Shinowski, Michael Muncy, Kyle Peacock, Ben Laughter, and Timothy Peters. Unfortunate for these guys, Adam, towards the back. These guys, got caught up early on, so never really had a chance at really showing anything at the end. I think they got caught up in that early wreck around lap 15, lap 20 or so. Unfortunate for those guys, but I'm sure they're going to be hungry to bounce back.
Yeah, definitely going to be hungry at a completely different style of racetrack. And man, what an opener tonight, though, for these guys in the Challenger Series. An incredible finish and really good racing all throughout. They've made some friends, they've made some enemies potentially here at Daytona, as you do. But yeah, pleasure to have you up here in the booth, Jeff. Any thoughts before you jump down in the car yourself?
Yeah, just, first off, big thanks to you guys and everybody at V-Speed for having me up here and call these Challenger Series races with you guys. So it was a lot of fun tonight, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
Yeah, me too. It is going to be a lot of fun seeing these guys duke it out in this short season, straight up for points. You don't see that a lot anymore, and it's going to be really interesting to see who emerges as a challenger for the championship. Big shout out to all the sponsors that make it happen here. That is J Distributors, 29 Graphics, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and Clark Print Shop. So go check all those guys out. Video description. We'll be right back here live in about a half hour with the Cup Series. Make sure to tune on in. You'll see that's going to be Bradley Cooper and Connor Horn from our team calling the action. But thank you so much for watching the Challenger race tonight, and we will catch you in Iowa in a couple of weeks.